Have you ever wondered how the device you're clutching right now came into existence? Well, let's unravel the mystery together. It all began with a man named Alexander Graham Bell. Born in Scotland, Bell was an eminent scientist, inventor, and engineer. His interest in sound and speech was deeply rooted, as both his father and grandfather were experts in elocution and speech correction. In the mid-19th century, Bell set his sights on a groundbreaking invention, a device that could transmit sound across great distances. He believed that messages could be sent through a single wire if different tones were to correspond to different currents. This is where our story of the telephone begins. The year was 1876. After countless trials and failures, Bell and his assistant, Thomas Watson, had a breakthrough. They were able to successfully transmit a clear speech for the first time. Bell, in his lab, spoke into the mouthpiece, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." And Watson, in the next room, heard Bell's words clearly through the receiver. The original design of the telephone was quite simple. In essence, it had a transmitter or a mouthpiece that converted sound into an electrical signal and a receiver that turned this signal back into sound. The magic of this device was its ability to carry our voices over long distances, something unimaginable before its invention. Bell's telephone was not an immediate success, though. Many were skeptical of this new technology, but with time, the telephone began to gain acceptance. It started to transform the way people communicated, breaking down the barriers of distance and time. The telephone was no longer a scientific novelty, but a necessity, an integral part of everyday life. And thus, the telephone was born, marking the beginning of a new era in communication. This invention, born out of the genius and perseverance of Alexander Graham Bell, laid the foundation for the evolution of telecommunication that we witness today. So the next time you pick up your phone, remember the incredible journey it has been on to reach your hands. Over time, the telephone underwent several transformations. Starting with the rotary telephone, we saw a significant shift in the way we dialed numbers. Remember the good old days when we had to physically rotate a dial to enter each number? This process was slow and prone to errors. But then came the touch-tone dialing system in the 1960s. A simple press of a button and voila, the number is dialed. It was faster, more accurate, and allowed for additional features like speed dialing and caller ID. As we moved into the 1980s, another innovation hit the telephone scene: the cordless phone. Imagine for a moment the freedom of walking around your house, cup of tea in hand, chatting away with a friend without being shackled to a desk or a wall. The cordless phone made this possible. It brought a new level of mobility within the home or office, liberating us from the constraints of the corded phone. But it wasn't just about convenience. The cordless phone also introduced us to the concept of private conversations. No longer did you have to worry about someone else picking up another extension and eavesdropping on your chats. It was a significant step towards personalizing telecommunication. Efficiency in communication also saw a notable improvement. With cordless phones, multitasking became a breeze. You could continue your conversation while attending to other tasks, be it cooking a meal, working on a project, or even gardening. The cordless telephone was no less than a revolution, transforming not just how we communicated, but also how we lived our daily lives. And this was just the beginning. The telephone was on its way to becoming more than just a communication device. It was evolving into a personal assistant, a source of entertainment, a tool for business, and so much more. These advancements were just the tip of the iceberg in the evolution of the telephone. The biggest leap in the telephone's evolution came with the advent of the mobile phone. The 1980s brought a new wave of change in the world of telecommunication. The mobile phone, a portable wireless device, made its first appearance, and it was nothing short of a revolution. Initially bulky and expensive, these devices were far from the sleek smartphones we're familiar with today. However, they offered something unprecedented: the freedom to communicate on the go. As the years rolled on, mobile phones became more accessible and less cumbersome. Their popularity soared, and by the turn of the new millennium, they were becoming a common sight worldwide. But the biggest transformation came with the introduction of the smartphone in the early 21st century. These devices were much more than just phones. They were mini computers that fit in the palm of your hand, offering internet connectivity, touch screens, and the ability to install and use applications. Suddenly, it was possible to send emails, browse the web, watch videos, listen to music, and so much more, all from a single device. The smartphone became a hub of entertainment, information, and communication. Applications, or apps, as we commonly know them, became an integral part of our lives. From ordering food to booking a cab, from keeping in touch with friends to managing our finances, there seemed to be an app for everything. And with the evolution of mobile internet from 2G to 3G and now 4G and even 5G in some parts of the world, these applications became faster and more efficient. In a short span of time, smartphones have become an essential part of our daily lives. They have transformed the way we communicate, work, play, and even think. With advancements in technology, they continue to evolve, becoming more powerful and versatile with each passing day. From a device that was once a luxury, the mobile phone has become a necessity, an extension of our very selves. It's hard to imagine a world without them now. The mobile phone revolutionized not just communication, but the way we live our lives. The evolution of the telephone has had a profound impact on society. As the telephone evolved, it reshaped our social interactions. Before, we relied on letters and face-to-face meetings to communicate. But now, with just a few taps, we can connect with anyone, anywhere, anytime. It's a world where goodbyes are less definitive and hellos are just a call away. The business world was revolutionized too. Telephone evolution transformed how we work, making remote collaboration possible and breaking geographical barriers. It's a new era where business hours are flexible and offices can be anywhere. But perhaps the most significant change is in our access to information. With the rise of smartphones, we now have the world's knowledge at our fingertips. We can learn, explore, and discover new things in ways we never could before. However, this new era of communication isn't without its challenges. Privacy concerns, information overload, and the blurring of work-life boundaries are issues we grapple with daily. From a simple device for voice transmission, the telephone has evolved into a powerful tool that shapes our daily lives. The journey of the telephone is a testament to human ingenuity and innovation. From the humble beginnings with Alexander Graham Bell's invention, through the era of landlines and cordless phones, to today's smartphone revolution, it's clear that the telephone has not just evolved, it has transformed how we communicate. It's a journey filled with remarkable milestones, each one pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Stay tuned for more such interesting journeys into the world of inventions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This is interesting. Until next time, keep exploring.